Hello, today we have an interview with Márcio Wille
Yeah, Márcio Wille.
from the film Apocalypse Clown. And on this film, he has worked together with the magnificent Ivan Kaye, best known as King Aelle in Vikings. And Ivan has in this film taken a leading role as the great Alphonso, a very bombastic former TV celebrity clown who is a dark personality but also funny, which totally plays to his strengths. And actually, he is, for me, he is comes across as the apocalypse clown in this film for certain reasons, and has been noticed by the critics, of course, and he has been described as delivering one of the two standout performances of the film. And Apocalypse Clown is an Irish independent dark comedy or horror comedy film. And it has now just been released in cinemas in the UK and in Ireland on the 1st of September 2023. And yeah, Márcio has been in this film and in a scene with Ivan. Welcome, Márcio.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you are in Ireland, and I have seen that I think Apocalypse Clown is now not only in cinemas, I have seen it's available in some cinemas or still in Ireland. There's sometimes the director posts something that says in this cinema, in that cinema. So it's still running in cinemas, but it's also been released on Apple TV. I think it's now available on Apple TV in the UK. So is it also available in Ireland on Apple TV? Do you know that?
I think it is available in Apple TV. I'm not sure, but because it's still in the cinemas today, a friend of mine called me to invite me to go to see my movie. I said no, I can't. I have an interview, but he's going to watch it, and yeah, I advertised everyone. It's still in the cinema, in the biggest cinema here in Ireland.
Great. So people who are in Ireland also have now several options to watch it. And yeah, I don't know if it's still in cinemas in the UK. I think it was in London, in the Prince Charles, in the Odeon, and some others. But we know it will also get an international release, and it's also running or being screened in Lausanne in the third week of October. That's at the Lausanne Underground Film Festival. But before we dive into your scene, Márcio, I have a question. Because I have seen you originally come from Brazil. And then you have moved to Ireland. And my question when I saw that was, why Ireland?
I don't have an answer. Initially, I was just trying to travel. I just trying to leave Brazil to have an experience abroad and improve my English and leaving country, family, leaving friends, and discover myself. And so the guy in the in the agency said, okay, why not Ireland? I was thinking in going to London or to the US, and he said, why not Ireland? So yeah, why not? And here the Brazilian community is huge. There are a lot of Brazilians here. I think that's why the character is a Brazilian, because there are a lot of Brazilians here in Ireland, especially in London.
So that means there are enough people in Ireland who can identify then with a Brazilian character also.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's great. I have, I thought maybe it's actually a really smart choice, because if you go to London, you have this huge pool of people, a lot of actors, a lot of internationally renowned actors, and even A-listers, and people are in or from London or are available there, and you have a really huge, pool of people where it's probably harder to break in, I would assume, while Ireland has a very vibrant filming landscape, meanwhile, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in UK, I would have more competition, especially because how they cast is by the physical attributes, and it's by what they want to see in the screen. Until you get obviously well known and you have your experience to show, you have kind of baggage, and you have experience and the directors choose you because of you, not because of the character itself. Moving to here, it's been interesting. So it's not easy to be an actor in Ireland, but I think after 10 years living in here, people are starting to know me and recognize me and recognize my talent. And yeah, so it's not the breakthrough yet, but it's the path.
Yeah, but I've seen you have been in a couple of films during the past couple of years, and you also, I mean, you are not new to the business. You have been an actor in Brazil too. I've seen you actually have something in common with Ivan. You have been in theater, right, and in TV in Brazil, and.
Yes.
That's something I've heard that, I mean, because Ivan started out in theater actually, and then transitioned to TV, and then at some point started to do films also. I've heard that it's not that common anymore that young actors start out in theater. Often they go directly to TV, it seems, or film, or through short films to film. And my question is, because theater is a little bit different in terms of how you are acting. Did you find it helpful or challenging or both to switch from theater to the screen?
Yes, it is challenging once you don't have help, when you don't seek for help, studies, doing a TV or screen course, or any kind of self-development, and trying to understand the language, the different lens that you'll be seeing. So is everything smaller in a short screen or in a big screen, but it's smaller than the theater. Your acting skills, or the way you and so you put your character to be seen is a different way in TV and cinema. Yeah, I studied. I went back to do some courses, and here in Ireland, back in Brazil as well, just to try to be prepared. And yes, so you have to be constantly studying and developing.
Mhm. Yeah, I've seen that you have actually done some more studies in Ireland after you already, were in the business. So that's really impressive, I think, because I don't know if everyone is doing that and is ready to do that. Now, I would go to your scene. Luckily, we have seen a part of your scene in Apocalypse Clown already, because it was on Irish TV as part of an interview even before the release of the film, and so subsequently it came to social media, and it's available on our channel here. It's available on your channel, and I would just play that in and share my screen, just to see a bit of it, and then we can go on.
What was that?
There is nothing left to steal. Just move on, and you come to no harm.
Stay calm. I am a journalist, a good one.
Needless to me, Jennifer. I know how to speak to perverts. Now listen, by all means, have me a filthy way with him, but let the rest of us go.
Oh my God, you're bleeding slightly.
It's nothing.
No, I think it's I think it's something serious. We should take your shirt off right now.
Listen to the man, Jenny. There's nothing for us to steal. Let's go, please. So you're a journalist?
Getting all over my face, huh?
No, was literally the first thing you said.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the first part of your scene. I think the scene goes on a little bit. So the first thing I would ask you is to just tell us how does the scene play out, the rest of the scene?
Yeah, the rest of the scene, he got into a fight. Actually, he saved the clowns and Amy from the statues that are coming. After that scene, if they understand that he understands that they are running away from the statues, and then trying to find the tower of to transmit the transmitter, tower transmitter, something like that. And when it gets even more funny when they have to run away in the clown car because the statues are coming, and he got into a fight with the statues, and yeah, the movie finishes there. Actually, my scene, and then I'm back at the end of the movie, saving the Irish president.
Yeah, yeah. That's a quite interesting development for your character. So, just to give a bit of context for the people who haven't seen the film so far, it has been mentioned in reviews and everywhere, but I just repeat that in the film we have a troupe of failed clowns, let's say. So we have the great Alphonso, who has actually been quite successful, but then something happened 30 years back to his TV show, so his TV show got cancelled, and now he tries to have a comeback. Then there are 3 clowns who are not very good clowns, or not very happy with what they are doing. One of them is actually done being a clown. One of them is just not a good clown, but wants to be one. And one of them is a quite scary street clown who, however, doesn't realize that she's scary. And these 4 clowns have teamed up with the reporter, Jenny, who was seen in the scene, and got in a clown car. That's the only thing that in this apocalyptic scenario works, because electricity has been turned off, and the clown car is one that is with a handle, which still works with a handle. You have to basically make the motor run by pulling this handle. And so that's a situation. And then there are 2 human statues who are behind our scary clown. They had an altercation with her, and she has done something to one of them, which was quite painful. And because of that, they are after them for revenge. And in this scene, we have the scene, and you encounter them, and then these statues are seen from afar, and the clowns hurry up to go into their car, right, to drive away, and you are the one who actually saves them by fighting with the statues, you said, right?
Yeah.
So and in the end you are the savior of the president. And so I would assume, given how these characters all function, and that they are all not, I mean, it's clear who we are meant to sympathize with in the movie, but they are all not really, very nice, lovable characters. And so it seems to me actually that your character could possibly be the only true hero in the story. What do you think about it?
Yes, especially after hearing an interview with Amy, that even herself, her character doesn't realize that she's crazy herself. And it's really interesting. There is no heroes, because every single character has a piece of humanity, and it's not good or bad. That's the most important thing. On that scene, maybe I'm the only one that shows good all the time, trying to save some and try to be honest and be just. But the other characters, they have this duality. It's very, very well shown.
In this scene, you have all the main characters in the scene, and you are directly interacting with 3 of them. So you're taking Bobo hostage, because I think you thought they want to steal from your food van, right?
Yes. Previously, the trailer was attacked by people that maybe because of the apocalyptic situation, people attacked, robbed food and all the suppliers that my character has. So maybe the reason that he's trying to defend himself and trying to protect whatever he has left is that situation, traumatic situation that he just suffered. He saw the characters, all of them, they didn't see the big explosion. They were somehow involved with something, but they didn't see the big explosion, that there was a light in the sky. So my character comes to tell the story, what happened with that situation, and what brought everyone to that situation. So it was a big explosion, and my character tells what happens and tells that he suffered an attack from the people, everyone else, and now he's there left with nothing, and he has to protect the little thing that he has. That's the trailer.
Yeah, right. I mean that was pretty obvious from the scene itself, that there's been, your character is also, you can see he has been fighting before. He's bleeding, his shirt is ripped, and you get the impression that people have just gone crazy and have already raided, so to speak, the van. For context, the main characters, the clowns and the journalist, have been locked up in prison while the actual event happened that then put out all the electricity, because they had been involved in a fight before, which also already involved the human statues and Fanzo. Fanzo is the scary clown. And that means they get the information from you. So that's actually a little bit of also of exposition that is in this scene, that is important to know what happened there. You are in the scene with all these 5 main characters and interacting with 3 of them. And how did you feel about having this scene in the film?
Yeah, first when I read the script, to be honest, I understood a little of the Irish joke and the intentions on the first reading, and then I tried to what those jokes means and what everything here, what happens here. So then I did a little bit of research, and on the first reading that I met everyone, and I thought, wow, this is a big deal. My scene has everyone, all the main characters in it, and I am interacting with them. And the scene it is important because it's changing all the course of the actions that are happening in the movie. It was great. But at the beginning, I wasn't quite understanding all the joke itself, so it takes a while. I'd say only for the reading.
Well, that's something that you may have in common with a lot of us who are not native Irish and maybe even not native speakers of English, and that means that some things may escape us at the first run. So it's always good we get the film also in digital form, so you can watch it again and check out what's happening there. In the scene, you have an exchange with Amy, who plays Jennifer, and you're facing Ivan, who has actually a de-escalating approach there, which I found interesting. I found it really interesting, this little snippet that came out before the film was released, because we could see quite a bit about his character, because on the one hand, you can see he's instinctively hiding behind the woman. It's the first thing. Despite the fact that he's a huge guy, I mean, you're really tall, right? But Ivan is even taller, and he's just jumping behind her, so you can see he's not actually the sort of person who would step in front of her and as the hero fight here. But then he has this de-escalating approach that, on the one hand, shows that he's not that much of a friend, you can say, because he said, take him, do with him whatever you want. But on the other hand, it actually works, because your character is kind of taken aback, or I don't know, sees it doesn't have any sense to take this guy hostage, or how does that play out? I mean, I've had a feeling it shows a bit of the not so lovable parts of his character, but on the other hand, it also shows that it works. He has a feeling for how to tackle the situation in a way.
For my opinion, I see that he wants to get rid of that place, and he wants to jump back in the car and move to. I think he has a show to present. He has his big comeback, and I'm in the middle of the way. That whole situation is holding everyone's back for him to get where he wants to be.
Right. Yes. How did you like working with Ivan? So you were in a scene together, so.
Yeah, working with everyone, actually, with Ivan especially as well, was very interesting because they are very helpful, and you can see I was just arriving in the whole gang, in the team, in the family. They were shooting a month before, they were rehearsing a month before, and they would still be doing much more scenes and rehearsals after, but I was accepted, I was welcomed, I was loved and cared, and was really interesting to have this sense of family. They had already got together, and they weren't excluding anyone. Whoever was jumping and coming, even for a short stay, as like me, would have a very welcomed approach from everyone. That was very interesting. Another thing is that Ivan really kind of congratulate me of my scene after we finished it. Everyone were really happy, and even when the scene went to the TV, I got a message, I think from him on Instagram, or and everyone was kind of really happy with that scene that went to the TV, went to be shown.
Oh, he actually messaged you on Instagram?
Not, I think was a message from the whole group, but I think when I saw him personally, he mentioned that was a great scene, and everyone was happy.
Yeah, how was that to be at the premiere, the world premiere at the Galway Film Festival, where you all met up again?
Watching the whole story is so incredible, because it's a movie that you cannot sit back and just expect and guess what happens, because every turn, every corner, something will take out of your chair, and you're gonna jump, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna get scared, and it's not a horror movie, it's not apocalyptical, it's not a clown movie, it's everything together. It's very impressive how the director and the writers put everything together in such a nice way.
Great. So I think it was actually the first time all of you of the cast also saw the film, right? You didn't have any peeks at it before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I found interesting. I've been thinking of, which may interest those people who haven't been involved in filmmaking so far themselves, because you usually also have an ADR session, right, before the film is ready to go and is finalized. You usually do the sound, make some adjustments to the sound, or record something again to see if it's better or fits better. And
bits of my scene, because I had to record the sound as well, as you just said, but didn't make sense because it wasn't in order. I recorded just bits of things that the sound wasn't great, but I didn't pass over the whole scene in the sequence edition. So for me, it was just a couple of words and just leave. It was less than half an hour, actually.
Okay, so during ADR, you only see those pieces that you have to re-record. Okay, so then you can't get an idea of that, right? That's only when you. Probably only when you have a major role and are all over the film, and there are always pieces, then you may get a bit more of an idea how the film will look, right? But when it's just little pieces, then obviously, you haven't seen much. That explains that. pretty well. So that's essentially your experience with the scene and with the premiere, and I think it's probably really exciting. I mean, it's exciting for us. I was sitting on my screen, on Instagram and checking all the stories and looking, has anyone posted anything, and pulling that and showing it. Hey guys, here's the first photo and all that, because it's just very exciting also for us to take part in this kind of events through social media. Then we have a little bit of a delay because it takes you time to post something. But that's really great, I think, nowadays that we can not directly live, but almost live. With very little delay, we can be part of the vibe and of the excitement of the event. Was that have you done that before? I mean, you have been in other films before. Have you done that before at the premiere, to walk on the stage then when the film is over and have a Q&A and all that?
Yes, for the A Better You, a short movie that I shot that won many awards, including some best movies and actor here in Ireland. So how is the people wants to know more details about your experience shooting the movie, your experience with the director, with the whole cast, and it's very interesting to reflect on that the piece of humanity that the cast always has, backstage stories, behind the scenes stories or jokes or experience, and share with the audience.
Yeah, I think that's obviously something that comes easier and flows probably much more when a whole bunch of you is there and everyone has their own memories, and then that probably sparks another memory. But we'll come to that in a moment too, because I will ask you about your favorite moments. Actually, we could just jump into that. What's your favorite moment on set that you remember so spontaneously?
I think when people got the joke, that is a line that what does it say? It's years of working in this trailer beside the road. I never saw humanity reaching a so low stage, or something like that. That was a very funny line, and being able to deliver in a way that is an Irish joke. That wouldn't be something that a Brazilian would say. So it's very interesting that, okay, I reached that, so I delivered the way that they want me to do.
Great, so that's your favorite moment. About the characters, I mean, you have your own character. Of course, you are mainly involved in working on your own character, but you probably also got quite a glimpse at the other characters. And who's your favorite character in the film, actually, from the others, and why?
I think Fonzo, she Natalie portrayed a really interesting and diverse layered character that has trauma and that has ambiguity, darkness, and even Ivan has as well a very good sense of showing how dark a clown can be. And those two, it's all about humanity. They show a much more than people know what it is being a clown.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Fanzo is the scary clown who doesn't realize she's scary and actually doesn't want to be, but does things that are quite, you can't really understand how it could escape someone that isn't scary. And the interesting thing I found was obviously Natalie Palamides does that really well. The interesting thing for me was that it's the character. I mean, you have to do it well, but you also have to have material to work with, and that's a really interesting character because this character has very opposing sides to it. And so that's I think what makes it so interesting. And the other thing you mentioned, Ivan, and showing the dark side of the clown, but I think he's also the other one actually who has these two sides to it, because he's a very dark character on the one hand, but he also has really funny moments and funny, I don't know, has a way of, he has another side to it, you know. He's not just a scary clown in a way, he's not just a dark clown, he also has this, you know, this jovial, clownish, you know. We can also see it in the snippet they put out for the promo, where they introduce Alphonso at the funeral, where he shows actually this mixture of not so lovable qualities, but also in a way that it's kind of has this comical aspect to it, where you just laugh at it.
As you all know, I myself am back on top, gearing up for my enormous comeback show tomorrow night. But I need a support act.
Well, if you do...
Not you. Not that. Wait a minute, where's Boinky?
Doing a Masters.
Giggles?
Trampled by a horse.
Oh, probably for the best. And what about you? You a clown? I mean, the makeup says clown, but the hair...
I'm a journalist. Thank you very much.
Oh, perfect. I'll give you 20 minutes after this. Then we can do the interview, eh? Right, well then, we'll have to audition.
I think he's the other one who has those very opposing sides, which need to be delivered very well. Actually, I think that's really a specialty of him. When I heard that he's going to play this kind of clown, I thought that's perfect for him, because he's really great at playing dark and intimidating characters. He really brings that across in a way that you are just in awe of this enormous presence and charisma. And on the other side, dark comedy. So comedy, but not actually just the silly things. He has done that too, but not just a silly character, but this comical side that also has these darker layers. And the combination to do that with a character that is so bombastic, you know, which absolutely fits this presence he has. That's what combines the things he's really good at. And many people, especially of our channel on YouTube and also our Instagram page, but generally on social media, are to a great degree Ivan's international fan base. So he has way more than half of his fan base is outside the UK and Ireland. It's international, hugely international, all over the world. And a lot of them have come in with Vikings, obviously, because it's a hugely international hit series. And as you know, there he plays King Aelle, and it's this formidable Saxon king of Northumbria who is utterly awe-inspiring, but then also has this brutal breakdown in the end. So it's he has all these human layers in it, also jovial layers. Every season is a bit different, and I've noticed that because the film is shot in Ireland and Vikings was shot in Ireland to a large amount, there are quite some actors in this film, in Apocalypse Clown, who have been either in Vikings or in Vikings Valhalla, which will be interesting to see for the Vikings fans, I think. So, guys, go check out the movie once you have the chance. And I would like to know: have you seen Vikings yourself? Do you know the series?
It's a huge hit in Ireland because it's shot here. Everyone talks about, and myself, I've seen bits, scenes on YouTube, scenes on social media, but I didn't follow. And now you got me curious.
Have you seen? That's just a more specific question. Have you seen Ivan as King Aelle on the clips you have seen?
Just some pictures of him on social media because I did my research in the actors, not full diving, and I saw many pictures of him as a king.
To get an idea, so you can't, but you, it's not enough to say anything about, is there anything in his the great Alphonso which would appeal to people who enjoyed watching him as King Aelle?
I think he did a totally different job, and I think he put out of his box his tool of experience and talent and skills to develop something totally different that people would love to see. And it's interesting. It's an interesting exercise to try to find what from previous characters that you play, what you're bringing to this one, because they are such a different I would say character. I would say that he made a totally different life and portrayed totally different person.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, I think, from what we have seen already, and what I also would expect from my experience with watching pretty much all of his stuff. He actually can do something that looks like it's almost the same thing that he did in another character, but it comes across in a completely different way. That's something, of course, when you know the treasure that he has, and you have watched a lot of it, and you have seen a lot of it, that then you can see things that you have seen before, but they come across. There's a little bit different, a little tiny difference in it, and it comes across totally differently. That has me totally fascinated. But I actually think it will be interesting. This character will be really interesting for people who love this presence of King Aelle, because it is a different character. Obviously, he has this comical side to it. It's a clown also. It's not a king, it's a clown. But I could imagine there are really a lot of moments in that when he comes out with the darker side, where you can have can get those dark vibes we have come to love, or some also love to hate in Vikings, or even on in other stuff he has done. But I think something he did on Vikings with King Aelle is that was a character who wasn't meant to be liked, mainly because he is the main antagonist, the nemesis of the hero. But he has this way of making a not very sympathetic character extremely appealing to watch. He has this ability to play a character where you think, I don't like this guy, but I want to see more of this guy, and that is I think a real special talent. And I would imagine that's something that probably could happen in this film too. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a way to show humanity. Well, it's basically they are totally different characters, different history, background, and the whole scenario, what they present themselves. But in the end of the day, it's the same person, the same human playing different characters. So you a good actor will bring always your own elements, your own tools to build a totally different person, but it's still going to be you.
Yeah, that's. I think that's actually the recipe for I think for getting a sort of popularity also, that you are recognizable and being a good actor. So I mean, not just playing yourself. I mean, you can get very popular by just always playing in the same way, because people once fall in love with that and then they want to see it over and over and over. But that doesn't mean you are a great actor. That just means you are popular. But being a great actor and gaining a sort of popularity is, I think it's all about that, being able to bring yourself to a character in a way that people will recognize elements and bits and pieces they already love because they have seen it before and fall in love with it before, but also creating a completely different. I think that's a real art form. So I'm interested now, obviously, in checking out your other things to see how you are working with that, and how we can find out, if there what the common elements are and where the differences are. What would you say was the most challenging thing for you to do in this film?
I think preparing the whole reading of the script is to try to get the sense of what's going on, because this is such a crazy story, and such a crazy development and directions that the movie takes, that you just reading, you just get confused. You have to sit and spare a quite amount of time of studying and trying to understand, especially in a different language, different jokes that I wouldn't get if I didn't pay attention with the minimal details as well. So I think was the jokes, the jokes that are in between the lines. That is very Irish sense of humor. Yes, so I'm very proud that I got the majority of the jokes, but there was some jokes that I only saw whenever they were portrayed in the big screen. I didn't see in the script, or didn't find funny when I just read.
Okay, thank you. That's interesting. I think that's generally also the challenge the film will have with the audience, to see how it works with different audiences. I'm really interested to see how it is going to fare in dubbing, because when it comes internationally, and I think that's one of the reasons why it takes a while to come everywhere. It will in France, it will be in French dubbing. In Germany, it will be in German dubbing. Because we don't watch things in original sound first time off. I heard it's due to the fact that we had actually a significant film industry back in in the times before World War II, and that means it's kind of a relic that we are used to have everything in German, and we have a good dubbing scene. And I'm really curious to see how it plays out in dubbing then. Because then it will be translated to a different language, and that's probably also a challenge for the people who are going to do the translation.
Yeah, in Portuguese, I would say the same. Like the Brazilians, the team in Brazil, they do incredible work. To dub such a movie, you need to have a sense and capture whatever the joke it is. But I'd say as well that the jokes are not only in what is said, but in the whole situation, the absurd situation that are going on, and people get it. People get why those characters are saying that, because of that absurd, totally crazy situation that they are.
There's a lot of situational humor, I think, and also it's also a mix, a mix of more subtle things, I think, and then you have just from what I heard, you have just plain silliness also, where you just laugh out because it's so silly that you can't do anything else but laugh at it, and so that's so it's all the tones, I think. So it's a really interesting mix. So. Yeah, so I've heard that people said it may become a cult classic because it's so special and also different to other things, in terms of comedy. What's the funniest moment you can remember from behind the scenes?
From behind the scenes, the fight when the statues just came. So like they want me to really try to like choreograph some movements and fight with props that are kind of made of foam. It's like the whole choreography and. To pretend that was a serious situation was kind of funny for me.
Do you have some sort of fight training or martial arts or something?
No, not really. But like we rehearsed it really well for quite a bit, and it turns out really great. I was even impressed to myself. Like, okay, it looks like I'm a hero. I didn't recognize. I didn't until I saw the end result, the movie itself. I thought, okay, I'm just someone there. That is totally, I don't know, forgettable. But actually not. It's like they portray me as a hero, and yeah, was a very great experience.
Yeah, I think that's also, it's also great when you have then you said you then pop up again at the end as the savior of the president, and so that's actually I think what also makes it then more memorable, because what sticks in the mind and in the memory of people is always something that is towards the end, comes towards the end. So it's important actually to when you are in the middle of something, to pop up at the end again. That is really helpful, unless obviously the thing in the middle was already very very prominent and very memorable. Yeah, so I think that's actually going to, it's actually going to stick with the audience. That role, I think I would say you are definitely one of the people who have short appearances, who stick out more than maybe others, because it's quite in the center of attention.
Yeah, I hope so.
Anything else? You have an anecdote or something you have in mind about the film, or your filming experience, or maybe even something that happened at the premiere?
Oh yeah, the fact that we won the best movie in the Kaye festival, and the fact that it's totally unexpected. The result that I've seen at the end, I think everyone couldn't expect what we had, what you could see, and the material, the preciousness of the great work that everyone did. And that's it's it's something that I couldn't expect. Even watching for the third time, I see myself even more hypnotized by the material itself.
I think that must have been really, really exciting when you haven't seen it before, because I learned that when a film undergoes editing, it can change quite a bit. So even after filming your own part, you never know what's going to come out of it at the end. So must have been very exciting for you, right?
Yeah, it's always best to not keep your expectation high, but in that, with the result of this movie, I couldn't expect more. Like, it was totally a surprise, and really a great gift.
Great. So the movie is, as I said, coming to the Lausanne Underground Film Festival in the third week of October. And we are hoping for an international release soon. And anyone who can go and see it on a big screen, I think that will be an even more immersive experience. It's just something special. And I think that the film, from what I've seen, also the visuals is. I'm usually judging if I want to go to the cinema for a film, or rather wait until I can watch it on TV. I'm judging that a lot on the visuals. If I think the visuals are so good that it would warrant to actually pay more and see it once on a big screen, because it's just a better experience. And that's, also for me, it's has a lot to do with the visual appeal of a film. I think that may actually, I mean, what we have seen, also it's quite a nice mixture of a winter landscape, but also very colorful elements and scenery. So I think it's really appealing for a big screen experience. I mean, you have seen it on the big screen several times now. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like they have amazing open wide scenes that you can see Ireland, apocalyptical island, I would say, and the sound, and yeah, I've seen, even in the place that you see it in the cinema, depending on for the premiere in Galway, I sat very up front, and I was watching almost on the first row, and I saw like, oh, I don't think that I look like this. And then on the second time here in Dublin, I sat in the middle with the whole cast, and then I saw as well how could change your experience, just the way where you sit in the cinema.
Yeah, that's always advisable not to sit in the first row in the cinema, right? So guys, if you can, watch it in the cinema. So I think you have already mentioned the special things about the film. Is there something you would say, like to say in summary about the film that recommends it to the audience?
I think everything that you have in mind, forget it. You find totally different and expectable. So yes, go and watch it and have your own experience and your own thoughts about this.
So that sounds like it's going to be a really, really great fun, really great entertainment, because it's so much that's unexpected in it. And you yourself are working on more films, I think. I've seen something. What is it that we can expect to see you in next?
So I can't reveal right now. I'm still in development plan, but yes, I can tell. I cannot tell.
You can't say anything. I've seen on the web that there's a film coming up where you have a main part or something. If you aren't allowed to say anything, okay, I won't push you, because we don't want to have any contract breaches or anything. We'll see. But there's something coming, right? So we can.
Yes.
So anyone who enjoyed you in Apocalypse Clown or in this interview can then watch out for you and check your IMDb and check your social media, what's coming next. Thank you very much, Márcio. That was a very interesting interview, very interesting conversation. I really enjoyed that, and hope to see you another time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone.